welcome to our spring book buzz with the Bookies at Cook Memorial Public Library District. I'm Andrea Larson, and this is
Erica O'Rourke.
Yes, we're both readers advisors at the library. We're so excited to be able to share this video with you today because this is an event that we had planned for March of 2020, in person, of course, and then we all know what happened, right?
Indeed.
So it got put off and put off again, and we are finally here, and we're thrilled to share with you some reading suggestions for the spring. And these are our favorites of the upcoming books for March, April, and May. We've each handpicked them, and we're going to be sharing them with you today.
One of the things that we love best about this job is the chance to talk with you about the books that we're reading and loving and hearing about the books that you're enjoying. And so this is really a chance for us to share with you the things that we are most excited about for spring. The other thing we'd like to say is that we love hearing from you about the books that you're enjoying. And so we'd like to invite you to join us at our new No Homework Required book club, the Shelf Talkers Roundtable. It's a chance to share the titles that you've been enjoying and also hear from the other participants about books that they think are great reads. If that sounds appealing, we hope you'll consider signing up.
Yeah, Erica and I have done 2 of these already, and they were great fun. We loved hearing from everybody what they were reading. Everybody got excited about other folks' book titles.
It's a lot of fun. You come out with a whole list of titles to read and some great connections with other people. So we hope you'll consider joining us.
Yes, we're very privileged to have such a wonderful community of readers in our library district. And so thank you for allowing us to work with you all the time, and we hope you enjoy this spring book buzz.
Happy spring, everybody.
Hello, I'm Jo Hansen, and I'm a reader's advisor with our Popular Services Department. I also order all the ebooks for adult and young adult fiction. My first book is a truly buzzy title that received several starred reviews, and I can't wait to read it. Booth, which came out March 8th, is Karen Joy Fowler's first novel in 9 years since her award-winning We Are All Completely Beside Ourselves. We all know that John Wilkes Booth assassinated President Abraham Lincoln, but Fowler provides an engrossing portrayal of Booth's famous theatrical family at one of the most stormy times in American history. As with all great family sagas, Fowler's novel is filled with secrets, scandals, and financial difficulties. After all, the father, Junius Booth, is a noted Shakespearean actor, but also an unstable alcoholic, while his wife is overburdened after having 10 children on their Maryland farm. Fowler peppers the narrative with Lincoln quotes to give the reader a real sense of politics at the time. She examines the issue of racism through the storyline of the slave family that works on the Booth farm. If you are a fan of historical fiction, you do not want to miss Booth. My next book is a literary novel that is also getting several starred reviews, which is unusual for an author's second novel. Douglas Stewart, who won the 2020 Booker Prize for his literary debut, Shuggie Bain, returns on April 5 with what critics are calling an equally brilliant story. Like Shuggie Bain, Young Mungo is set in Glasgow, Scotland, where Stewart was born, and delves into the poor working-class lives of 2 young men in the 1990s. Mungo is a Protestant and James is a Catholic, so they should be enemies but end up falling in love. These star-crossed lovers must hide their relationship from family and society and long to find a place where they can belong. Stewart examines toxic masculinity, religious divisions, and the dangers of loving someone people do not approve of. One critic said, "You will cherish the characters, but also the story is a sucker punch to the heart. So be prepared for a good cry." One of the most anticipated books of the spring is Emma Straub's This Time Tomorrow, which comes out May 17. Straub is known for her humor and insight in several popular novels, including All Adults Here and The Vacationers. Her new literary novel also explores time travel. When Alice Stern wakes up on her 40th birthday in This Time Tomorrow, she discovers it is 1996 and she is 16 again. She finds that her father, who is gravely ill in her current day timeline, is now vital and charming. She also discovers that her father, who is famous for his book on time travel, also knows how to travel through time. Alice is faced with the moral dilemma of whether she should try to alter the past to change her father's poor health in the future. One of my favorite authors, Ann Patchett, says, "The pages brim with tenderness and an appreciation for what we had and who we were. I could not have loved it more." With that high praise, I can't wait to read this book. If you like funny, touching family dramas, This Time Tomorrow might be for you.
I'm Marianne Charles, Popular Services Book Club Assistant at Cook Memorial Public Library. I'm responsible for getting your book club items out to you. In a New York Minute by Kate Spencer, out March 15th. This book is a laugh-out-loud reminder that fate can sometimes have a sense of humor. A fresh and modern debut take from Spencer on romantic comedy for readers of Jasmine Guillory and Christina Lauren. Franny Doyle has quite possibly just had the worst day of her life. She's been laid off from her too-good-to-be-true job at a chic interior design firm, and then her favorite silk dress gets caught in the Q train subway doors, tearing up the back. Luckily or not, a handsome stranger, Hayes Montgomery III, offers her his Gucci suit jacket, saving Franny from exposing her unmentionables to the entire train. Their meet cute encounter goes viral, and the hashtag SubwayQT become a sensation. Franny figures she'll never see Hayes again in a city the size of New York, but fate has other tricks up its sleeve as the two keep running into each other and ultimately end up working together on a large remodeling project. If you liked The Flat Share or One Day in December, this is the book for you. The Candy House by Jennifer Egan, out April 15th. Named a most anticipated book of the year by Time, Entertainment Weekly, Oprah Daily, BuzzFeed, and a host of others. This is a sister novel to Egan's Pulitzer Prize-winning A Visit from the Goon Squad. Brilliant tech entrepreneur Bix Boughton is bored. It's 2010, he's 40 years old, has 4 kids, and is in desperate need of a new idea. When he stumbles upon a conversation group made up mostly of Columbia University professors, one of whom is experimenting with downloading or externalizing memory. Fast forward 10 years, and Bix's technology, Own Your Unconscious, which allows you to access every memory you've ever had and allows you to share every memory in exchange for access to the memories of others, living or dead. This has captured the hold of millions, but not everyone. The world is divided into counters, those who track and exploit memories and corresponding desires, and eluders like Bix's own son, who advocate for privacy and seem to understand the price of taking a bite of this candy house. The Candy House is told in a variety of narrative styles, including first-person plural to omniscient to a chapter made up entirely of tweets. It's bold and brilliant. Check it out if you like Anita Shreve, Claire Masood, or Haruki Murakami, or if you enjoyed titles like Cloud Atlas or The Circle. Last but not least, The Hacienda by Isabel Cañas, out May 3rd. This is Mexican Gothic meets Rebecca in another debut novel, but this one of supernatural suspense set in the aftermath of the Mexican War of Independence. When Beatrice's father, General Hernandez, is betrayed and executed and her home destroyed, she marries mysterious widower Don Rodolfo Solorzano. His home, Hacienda San Isidro, feels like the perfect respite for Beatrice and her mother. But it quickly becomes apparent that something is up with the hacienda. The housekeeper refuses to work without burning incense and chalking symbols on the kitchen door. And Beatrice's sister-in-law, Juana, refuses to enter the estate at night. When Rodolfo returns to the city for work, bloody visions and voices invade Beatrice's dreams. Juana gaslights her, telling her, "You are going mad." Beatrice is certain, however, that Rodolfo's first wife was murdered and is haunting the hacienda. Beatrice enlists the help of Padre Andres, a man torn between childhood folk beliefs and church teachings, to rid the house of its demons. The two dig into the past, with Andres relying on his skills as a witch to battle the demons within the house. This is for readers of Sylvia Morena Garcia, Shari La Pena, or if you enjoyed a book like The Death of Jane Lawrence. That's my 3. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Andrea Larson. I'm the Popular Services Manager at the library. I also order the general fiction collections and the mysteries and thrillers. So my first pick for you today is a mystery. It's called Under Lock and Skeleton Key. It's by author Gigi Pandian, and it released on March 15th. If you are a classic mystery lover who is also intrigued by magic and puzzles, this is a book for you. It's a cozy locked room mystery with references to classics like Nancy Drew and author John Dixon Carr. In the story, Tempest Raj, a magician, returns to her Bay Area hometown after closing down her Las Vegas show, and she becomes embroiled in a murder mystery when she goes to a job site for her father's construction company, and her former assistant is found dead in a wall. You will love disappearing into the magical world of Tempest's childhood home, which contains secret staircases, a hidden library, and even a treehouse. Add to that Scottish sea legends, an ancient Indian curse, and a few Gothic elements, and you have a clever, atmospheric puzzle. My April book pick is an absolute delight. The Patron Saint of Second Chances. It's written by Christine Simon, a first-time author, and I really want to have lunch with her because if she is as funny as this book, we would have a blast. Set in a tiny town in Italy, population 212, the story centers around a vacuum repairman named Signor Speranza and his efforts to make a movie in order to save his beloved town. There's a runaway goat, 15 beefy butcher sons, and many other hilarious elements. If you liked the 100-year-old man who climbed out the window and disappeared, give this book a try. It will lift your spirits and restore your faith in humanity. My May book pick, Trust by Hernan Diaz, is already getting rave reviews. It's historical fiction in a clever book-within-a-book format. In the 1920s, a Wall Street tycoon and his wife rise to incredible wealth and the very top of New York society, but at what cost? And what is the truth behind their success and their relationship? Diaz explores themes of money, power, class, and loyalty in this suspenseful, richly layered book. Jacqueline Woodson, a staff favorite author here at the library, called this a rare jewel of a book, jaw-dropping storytelling against the backdrop of beautiful writing. If you like literary puzzles or historical fiction told from multiple perspectives, definitely put this one on hold.
Hello, I'm Mark Morton, Adult Services Librarian at the library, and I order the young adult books for the library collection. My first buzzworthy book that I wanted to introduce you to is Gallant by best-selling author V.E. Schwab. It just came out March 1st. This darkly haunting tale is being described as The Secret Garden meets Twin Peaks. Olivia has lived her whole life in an orphanage with only one object to connect her to her family, her mother's diary that contains a descent into madness after the death of Olivia's father. The diary also contains a note warning Olivia to never, ever go to Gallant. But when she gets a letter from her uncle that she never knew existed, inviting her to the family estate, that's exactly what she decides to do. Has Olivia finally found the family she always wanted? Or is something more sinister beneath the surface? Letters from the dead, a crumbling mansion, dark specters, a weed-choked garden containing a gate which leads seemingly to nowhere. All this can be found and more in Schwab's newest, hauntingly gothic tale for fans of Neil Gaiman and Holly Black. I hope you will join me in reading this tale, but if you do, remember this: the shadows cannot touch you, the dreams can never hurt you, and you will be safe if you never, ever enter Gallant. If you are looking for a fun, swoon-worthy YA queer romantic comedy to brighten up your spring, my next selection, entitled She Gets the Girl, might be right for you. This love-to-hate romance is written by New York Times best-selling author Rachel Lippincott and her wife, Allison Derrick. It has a scheduled release date of April 5th. This title, which is being called a mashup of She's All That and What If It's Us, follows Alex and Molly, two college girls, so different they could be from entirely different planets, who form an unlikely partnership to catch the girls of their dreams. Can Alex help the shy and awkward Molly learn how to be confident courting girls, while also proving to her ex that she is more than a selfish flirt? Or will Alex and Molly discover that love can be found in unexpected places, perhaps forming a deeper partnership, despite seemingly being worlds apart? This story, which reviews are calling sweet, honest, and full of personality, is perfect for readers of queer romance. And my final selection is the newest book by New York Times best-selling author of Internment, Hollow Fires by Samara Ahmed. It is scheduled to be released May 10th. Starred reviews are describing this book as a powerful and timely thriller that is impossible to put down. It's loosely based on the Leopold and Loeb murders, and this story is about a young activist and journalist named Sophia, who is on a quest to find out the truth behind a boy's tragic disappearance. As the story unfolds, it explores the insidious nature of racism and the often terrible cost at discovering the truth. The story is uniquely told in an innovative dual point of view, and it also features a found document style, which allows readers to get a 360-degree view of the case, while Sophia attempts to dig up the truth. I'm excited to read this book, which is perfect for fans of other YA books like Sadie and Dear Martin. Well, that sums up my buzzworthy books for spring. Happy reading.
Hi, I'm Karen Varga, and I'm in charge of purchasing the large print at our library. And right now what I'd like to do is tell you about 3 titles that are going to be coming out this spring. First, if you've read Calder Brand, you'll be excited to know that the second book in the series, Calder Grit, will be hitting the shelves this month, March. Known for her contemporary Western romances, Janet DAILEY has successfully switched things up this time with her historical fiction drama, set in 1909 Montana. Described as Romeo and Juliet meets Legends of the Fall, you will find that the romance in this book is mixed with high drama, farmers versus cattlemen, and brother against brother. While the patriarch, Benteen Calder, is a strong force to be reckoned with, in this novel, the protagonist that you'll want to watch is a courageous Blake Dollarhide. Owner of the Blue Moons lumber mill, he straddles the divide as he steps up to right a family wrong and marries Hannah Anderson, the daughter of a homesteading family. This novel would be good for fans of Linda Miller or Susan Wiggs. Next, Robin Carr, master of relationship fiction, has produced another emotionally charged family drama. The female protagonist in this is very strong. Her name is Anna McNichols. She's a mother of 3. She's at the peak of her career, and now she's an empty nester. This should be her time to soar. However, with no forewarning, she is forced to deal with the death of her husband. As a vision of her exciting future begins to unravel, a very unexpected guest arrives at the funeral and triggers a series of questions that can't remain unanswered. In the midst of family grieving, Anna is determined to find out the truth about her husband's past. Along the way, she will find help from some unexpected resources and realize the beauty of her imperfect family. This novel would be good for fans of Cheryl Woods or Kristen Hanna. Next, if you like your book suspenseful and intricately plotted, you may have already read one of Taryn Fisher's books, perhaps The Wives or The Wrong Family. Her newest novel, An Honest Lie, will be available in May. Successful sculptor Lorraine, aka Rainey, used to live in New York City, but she's moved to the remote sanctuary-like Tiger Mountains to be with her boyfriend Grant and forget about her disturbing past. When the wives of Grant's friends invite her to come with them on a trip to Las Vegas, she does not want to go, but her boyfriend encourages her and she finally joins them. Then, after a wild night of Vegas partying, one of the friends, Braith, doesn't return back to the hotel. And an anonymous text message is sent from Braith's phone to Rainey. Rainey knows who sent that message, and if she wants to save Braith, she will have to confront the man who destroyed her childhood and step back into her past. If you're a fan of Liv Constantine or Wendy Walker, you are likely to enjoy this novel.
Hi, my name's Erica O'Rourke. I'm one of the Reader's Advisors here at Cook Library. I also select for a romance collection, and I run the Agatha Mystery Book Club. I'm so excited to share spring titles with you today. I think spring reading is the perfect time for fresh perspectives and fresh premises that kind of combine and really illuminate and entertain simultaneously. So let's get started. My first pick is Secret Identity by Alex Segura. Set in 1975 New York City, it features an overworked, underestimated secretary at a second-tier comics company, kind of like Marvel, but not so classy. And she teams up with another writer to develop a new comics series, only to discover that he's been murdered and he's taken credit for all of her ideas. So now she has to find the killer and the courage to stand up for herself. Critics are raving about this book. They are calling it gritty, atmospheric, tightly plotted. It's a noir thriller that is a love letter to comics that even non-comics fans will enjoy. And for me, the combination of that noir mystery with a female protagonist in a really male-dominated field is absolutely irresistible. My second title is A Proposal They Can't Refuse by Natalie Kanya. It's a debut romantic comedy about a Puerto Rican chef and an Irish whiskey distiller in Chicago who are basically blackmailed into a fake engagement by their meddling octogenarian grandparents. Naturally, the fake relationship starts to turn into real feelings, but they're going to have to learn to trust each other in order to make it work. It's a romance, so they probably will. I'm excited to read this one, first because I love books about food. It's like one of my literary catnips. But the other thing is, this feels like a really fresh twist on some of those standard romance tropes. The fake engagement, the enemies to lovers, that interfering elderly relative. If you like Lady Danbury in Bridgerton, I think this is going to be a good book for you, even though it's contemporary. It's been described as steamy and funny, with great characterization and amazing food writing. My third title is Sign for Home by Blair Fell. It's about Arlo, a deaf, blind Jehovah's Witness who discovers that his hearing companions have been keeping secrets from him. And so he sets off for New York City by himself to find the girl that got away years ago. I'm drawn to this story because it's a novel of self-discovery with a thread of romance, but also it's got a really eclectic cast of characters and a very distinctive, underrepresented voice. The author was an American Sign Language interpreter for 2 decades, and I'm eager to get his insights into that population because I know very little about them. Also, I'm just in the mood for a really quirky, hopeful story, and I think this one fits the bill.
My name is Lindsay Barber Petticourt. I am the Digital Services Librarian, and I order horror, science fiction, and fantasy. My first title is The Circus Infinite by Con Wong, which came out at the beginning of March to multiple rave reviews. It follows Jess, an endearing outcast on the run from the Menacing Institute, which wants to study him for his psychic abilities. He finds a hiding place on the pleasure moon Persephone 9, think an amped up and fantastical Mardi Gras / Las Vegas. There he joins the circus and falls in with a diverse found family to guide and support him. He must rely on these new friends when a crime boss wants to exploit his abilities. It's a space opera with crime, action, adventure, a sweet queer romance, and a heartwarming family dynamic, so there's something for everyone. My second book is Kai by Vaishnavi Patel and will be out on April 26th. This is for fans of Madeline Miller's Circe and other modern interpretations of historic epics. Kai is the retelling of a story from the Indian epic The Ramayana. In the original, she is a queen who was vilified for the banishment of the king's first son and ensuring that her son would become king. In Patel's version, we get to learn more about her and the tools this woman will use to survive in a world where women's lives are dictated by the gods and by men. A magical debut novel that takes the source material and imbues it with added depth and complexity. My final book is Siren Queen by Nhi Vo, which will come out on May 10th. There's a lot of buzz around this title from the award-winning Vo, who takes us to the golden age of a fantastical Hollywood. It follows a young Chinese American trying to make it as an actress, who would rather play monsters than be assigned the stereotypical roles reserved for women of Asian descent. It's a dangerous business, and this Hollywood runs on less than reputable deals involving magic and sacrifice. This is the dazzling and magical story of what one woman must do in a world where others consider her an outsider and want to control her. I think you'll find it a spellbinding read.
And that about wraps it up for the Bookies today. We hope you've enjoyed our recommendations. If you see any of us at the reference desk when you come into the library, please stop by and say hi. We love to talk about books, so we'd be glad to do that with you at any time. Also, if you are looking for personalized book recommendations, we can do that too. Go to our website, www.cooklive.org/bookies. You can fill out a very quick form about what you like to read, and one of us will read it and send you your very own list of reading suggestions. It's a quick and fun way to get some great books. With that, thank you from the Bookies, and happy spring!